Hi, I'm Casey and I'm here with the Hello New York show, and I'm here with the super real estate agent, Rashida, and she is going to take us on a cool tour of one of the properties that she has listed.
A Fios studio here for short or long-term rental. So let me show you this beautiful studio. Let's go together.
Let's do it.
So here is a small studio, very nice with like a queen-size bed. Okay. Then you have here the sofa bed for one person here. Okay. Then you have the kitchenette just right there. Very nice, for a short period of time. You have a small fridge, a beautiful table, for the dining table. You have a TV, everything is included, like cable, phone, gas, electricity, and then you have like a beautiful view here across the street. This building has been, built like in the beginning of the century, 1910. So this building has been converted to a condo. So it's a beautiful view, very safe neighborhoods, surrounded by, great stores, restaurant. You have the Met couple of blocks away from here. You have a Columbus Circus also on the 59th Street. And of course, a couple of blocks from here, you can enjoy Central Park. So it's a very great location, great studio, good for short and long-term rental. From 1 line up to a year. So if you have any question and if you're interested, you can just call me. My phone number is 646-248-2592.
Well, Rashida, the super real estate agent, one of the best in New York, she just showed us a really cool apartment. It's a studio. It was a studio, but it was a really nice studio.
Really nice.
And thank you so much. We know you have a lot of really nice stuff to show us in the future. So
Yes, we do. So we'll see you for another showing. Goodbye, New York.
hi there, everybody. It's me, Casey, with the Hello New York show. I'm here this week again with Melissa, our wellness expert, and she's also an awesome yoga instructor. To become a yoga instructor, you have to learn anatomy and physiology and all kinds of stuff.
Well, you have to have a basic understanding of anatomy, and that's actually coming up for some debate amongst yoga standardizations and schools, because they're thinking that the 200 basic level that you need to teach in any gym or what have you doesn't really focus on anatomy the way we think it should.
Okay.
So I've had advanced training in anatomy and physiology and
That's why you know so much.
It's helpful to stay educated, continually educated. So that's important. Yes.
Awesome. Well, you're going to show us a couple of good moves that we can do, like in our bedrooms or on the floor of our office or anywhere.
Yes, absolutely. If you have the luxury of your own office to sort of sit on the floor and do that with, yes, absolutely. With your strap, mine's all tangled up. You've got it in the right position. You're just going to put the strap across the bottom of your feet. So for if you're at home sitting on your blanket, across the bottom of your feet with whatever you're working with is fine. For the first thing we're going to do, right? We're going to do what they call a traditional seated forward bend, which is Paschimottanasana in Sanskrit. But we're going to vary it a little bit for those of us who don't have the luxury of practicing all the time.
Okay.
So what I'm going to have you do is bend your knees a little bit, and you can see how when I bend my knees, it actually makes it a little easier for me to sit up straight.
Right, okay.
And you can give yourself less slack on the strap, so that it's not all the way up here and difficult. Right?
Right.
Good. So it's a little easier this way. So go ahead and mimic me.
Okay.
So bend your knees. Yes. Bend them more. It's hard to tell where you're at with these pants. Next time you have to wear skin-tight yoga pants.
I shall.
Hero tights.
Spandex, me and spandex.
Spandex, yes.
Sexy.
Sexy yoga. So what you're going to do here is you're going to use the pull that you have, the leverage that you have with the yoga belt. So you might have to give yourself less slack as you come forward. And you're going to try and lay your body across the top of your legs, and release your head.
Okay.
That being said, these are terms I use with intention. If you're, go ahead and return to your position. If you can't do that necessarily, please don't push or force yourself. Also, if you have certain back problems, or if for any reason your body is saying this is not comfortable for me, stop. Because then you should try and go to a teacher for this kind of thing. But for the most part, for most of us, this is fine. So go ahead and try to keep your knees pointed towards the ceiling, yes. And you're going to flex your feet. This is the important part. Flex against the strap. Good. Now pull on the strap. Because you're doing what Casey's demonstrating here to let us do. We're going to muscle through this pose. Not so much what I'm asking for. So you're going to open up your elbows nice and wide. Good. And you're creating a space for your body. Keep the elbows wide, because when the elbows are wide and high, you can release in the shoulders. Look at that. Nice. And breathe. Now, not so much an uncomfortable position, Casey, so look at me. Inhale, open the arms a little bit. Good, and then see if you can get your heart and your body towards me more. Yes, now release your head. Good, a little easier?
Yes.
There you go. Yes, now try to keep the feet flat on the strap. There you go. So there's a lot in this pose that comes up in terms of alignment. We're going to get a little deeper here when it comes to alignment. But that's why we have props. The props are helpful when we don't know exactly where we need to be going. So just keep breathing. Good, and now you can actually keep the strap, but just release the arms down. And then see if you can continue to, on your exhale, release the head. Yes. And now you can relax the legs and let them be where they want to be. Okay, good. So inhale to come up. So that was just one small pose. Same principles really here, but we're going to start with a nice straight spine. You're going to press your foot into the strap. See how my toes are coming towards my face?
Yes.
Good. That's what we're working for. Let me give
Oh,
you
right.
this.
Okay.
Let me give you this.
Okay.
There you go. Nice. Good. So with both hands, one on each end of the strap, you can just sit up nice and tall. Good. Now, not so much pulling. You can see we have a lot of habits here of pulling. I'm going to pull myself into this. I'm going to pull. Try to breathe and relax into it. That's the difference. Good. So toes moving towards your face, and think of it even as them moving past you. So it's a strongly flexed foot. So get them moving past you towards your face. Yes. There you go. So you're establishing a different kind of stretch here. Now, you're going to keep on working on stacking the spine from your seated position so you're nice and tall. Good. Take an inhale. I'm going to ask you to drop your head, because I don't want you to have a head in this position. If you're doing this, especially before going to sleep, try not to excite yourself and excite your nervous system. Take your head out of it.
Okay.
Go ahead and close your eyes. Good. And just breathe. It's not going to take you very far before you probably start to feel maybe a limitation in your movement. How is this right here? Enough stretch?
Yeah.
Good. Yeah, sounds good. Good. So you're going to stay there and just breathe. This is what I would ask of people if they're going to do this when they're at home. They don't have somebody to hold their foot back. You can place your foot flat on a wall, and that'll keep the ankle from planting forward. Another thing is stay in the pose for maybe, let's say, 30 seconds to a minute the first time you do it. The longer you're in it, the harder it becomes.
Yeah.
Because you can feel that the stress of the feeling of the stretch makes you want to come out of it.
Definitely. Yeah.
So go ahead, inhale, take a break. Good, release, and let's do the other side, because you want to be even.
Definitely. And so by doing this, what we're doing is stretching out a lot of different things, aren't we?
You actually are. You're hitting quite a few different groups of muscles and actually helping to release the spine. When you're sitting up so nice and tall, so go ahead and set yourself up and sit in that really nice tall way again. Again, with the brick under your knee to protect the knee. You want to protect your knees at all costs.
Right.
Always. That's very important. So
Knees are
protect your
important.
knee. Knees are important. We want them around. Good. And again, flexing through here. And I'm going to ask you to find a nice, now release the arms. And when we come up with the elbows, it has to be with a relaxed chin and neck. So we forget the arms for now. Just sit up tall and straight as you can. Right. So you see there's a lot of, this is a perfect demonstration. I'm sitting up tall and straight. Okay, so release your head down. You have no head.
Okay.
Now sit up tall and straight. Let your spine shoot up right out of your neck as if you have no head. So keep your head released. Good. And now sit up. Start stacking the spine from the bottom to the top. Beautiful. You felt that lift?
Yeah.
Good. Stop there. Okay? That's enough. That lift, and when we start to straighten out the curves of the spine and giving ourselves a little length, is something called axial extension. And it's just a little bit. It's not a big move on the outside, but it feels big on the inside. So try to keep that length. And now open your elbows just a little bit to the side. Good. And keep your head released, again, because you have no head here. And with this space you've created with your arms, you're going to take that axial extension. You're going to take that openness. You're going to bring it towards me just a little bit. Take your heart forward. Yes. Good. Mind your neck and head. It's not easy.
No, it's not. You have to be aware of your body.
You have to be aware.
Yeah.
There's a lot of things to think about, but the reason I'm being so particular with what I'm talking about is because I don't want your head. I don't want you to use your head. Use your head all day long. And now if we're practicing this, like let's say before bedtime to get relaxed, you need to release your head and neck. So release, close the eyes, forget everything else, and breathe. Good. Don't let your breath be short. Do you remember that the longer you're here, the harder it is to keep the length that you established earlier, to keep the breath flowing with ease. And I would ask you, stay here a little longer, I would ask you to release your tongue. Yeah, nice. I hear that was probably stuck to the roof of your mouth like a fly to glue. So try to release it. And as you do that, exhale one more time for me and release the neck a little more. Beautiful. Nice. And then inhale, coming back up to release. And you can release your strap. Good. So not only are we stretching the spine, like we talked about, and giving yourself a little bit of lift and decompression from gravity all day long, and of course stretching out hamstrings, calves, feet, all of that, you are learning to tap into your parasympathetic nervous system. Big word, basically. It's instead of your nervous system, which gets you around and helps you negotiate the streets of New York City and deal with stress and work and blah, 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 you're tapping into another part of you that's responsible for de-stressing you, literally, for getting you to come back down.
Wow, that's amazing.
It's very powerful. It doesn't take a lot. It's not about how far you come over your legs, so don't at home be pushing and pulling and hurting yourself. That's not the point. The point is to get quiet with a little bit of challenge, because when you can sustain the breath in that quiet way like you just did, while dealing with that sensation of stretch, but saying, it's okay, I can cope with that, and I can stay calm, that's when the parasympathetic nervous system gets to work and is like, oh, yes, and you calm your nervous system down. And traditionally, forward bends like these in yoga are prescribed, quote unquote, in yoga medicine, for hyperactivity, for just calming down in general. Doesn't work for everybody, but you can try. So, that's that.
That's great. Awesome.
Good for you.
Well, thank you.
You're
I mean,
welcome.
and it's really, every time I do, even just one or two different yoga poses, I feel a lot more centered and relaxed. So, there is something to it.
There is something to it. Your breath is everything.
Yes, yes. Breath is everything, and most of us don't breathe enough.
True. We'll be talking more about that soon.
Awesome. Yeah. Awesome.
Yes.
Well, Melissa, thank you so much.
Absolutely.
And,
You're welcome.
thank you for letting us film in your studio.
Thank you for coming. Namaste.
Namaste. Hey, what's up? I think you're kind of hot. You know what I'm saying, girl? I've never felt this way before. You make me feel all freaky and stuff. So, listen. Why don't you give me your number? It smells so good, by the way. Come on, baby.
Casey.
What are you doing here?
Jacques said do